Today I'm going to do a thinker I haven't thought of in over 25 years ago. About 30 years ago or so, I would have talked about in every conversation, even if I never quite understood him. Because he was then almost the latest thing. That thinker is Levi Strauss. In the long, I'll take you through more of what he said and why. But let me give you a taster. Levi Strauss suggests that thinking in the wild mind, les pensées sauvages, needs to be understood not as a thing of logic or even emotion, but rather of practicality and utility. As we think in the wild, we don't try to resolve deep ethical problems, oh no. Rather, we fit an existing argument into a new situation, modifying it a little bit, perhaps, and are content. Now let me give you one short, very controversial example. I saw yesterday an argument that said electronic ID was yet another symptom of the fantasy of global warming and that dreadful globalism that it embodies. Now, this was a classic bit of savage mind thinking. Obviously, the writer already had written lots of things about 15-minute cities, lots of things which they thought would have debunked global warming as just a conspiracy of people undefined. And therefore, they simply modified an argument that was reasonable about electronic ID that you may or may not dislike. I dislike it as a matter of taste and because I don't trust the government not to sell my data, not because I think the idea is itself bad. That's my own personal opinion. But what I'm sure about is that it isn't connected to the fantasy of global warming, which isn't a fantasy in the first place. But this argument made a sequence of moves where digital ID meant that governments were going to control what you spent and control where you were, and this was all done in the name of global warming that was going to allow elite unspecified access to all the wealth while the rest of us just suffered. It was a sequence then of moves. Each move a kind of a metaphor or a metaphor, each then standing for the next, standing for the next, standing to the next, until you got to an argument that had been around for a long time, that they'd clearly made before. Now, you could understand this as propaganda, or you could understand them as just an innocent thinker, thinking in the wild, as a sequence of jumps that take